give a good example of how it feels to be enlightened in my level of enlightenment. When I say stuff like, I remember reading anything I see, I remember writing that book if I go to start reading it. Like when I go to start reading something, I remember writing it. The Dhammapada, I remember writing it. The Bible, I remember writing it. All the different versions. But people wouldn't get that. But I can use this as a great example. Have you ever wrote a diary and looked at it 10 years later and was like, wow, I forgot all about that day, that thing, that event, that thing that went on. And then it reminds you of who you were then. Well, when you've experienced timelessness to the degree that I have, that word then, when you say you remember who you were then, didn't mean you were in your physical body. It meant you were in the physical body of that being who was writing it. Because when you are the spirit, you have no body and you are everybody. Literally, everybody. You're even with every reoccurring yoke yonder you, basically. But I'm only using those words, and I hate the fact that some people will hear them and say, that doesn't make, I don't like the way he just says it so simply, yoke yonder. Or, like when I say W is what, where, when, why, who, or vital, two V's. And people don't like that. And I get it because they want it to be complicated. And I don't know why they want it to be complicated. That'd be like saying, I don't know why it's not right to kill people because someone made it difficult for me to just accept that it's wrong to kill because they made it look like, but what if this person's trying to kill you? What if they're doing something wrong? Instead of adding that stipulation, realize that the person who's willing to kill you is doing something wrong. So try to subdue them. If you end up having to kill them, that's different. But you don't go out looking for problems to eliminate. That's our issue. We're having people that are going out looking for people that are doing minor things that make the people doing minor things more defensive, which may cause them to do more major things. I've seen it in every aspect, so I know what I'm talking about. And people hear it, they could understand it. Be like, if you were doing something that someone told you not to do and then someone caught you, and the original thing wasn't that bad, but you feared getting in trouble for it, wouldn't you be more liable to do something else worse to cover yourself up, like tell that person to stop, buy them off, shut them up, threaten to beat them up, or even kill them or something like that, or do the whole thing and kill them or something? Like, that is what happens. When you feel worried about getting in trouble for something you didn't see as wrong, you do something that you do know is wrong to prevent it from being discovered. Like, not always, but it's a possibility. And it's more likely. It's more liable when people make you do something you don't want to. When everyone goes to school and you're told to learn this and don't ask questions because this is the answer, you're not given the chance to live on your own and be who you are. We expect every kid to grow up and be what we tell them to be, but be themselves at the same time, when we don't give that option. So when I say stuff like I just said about when I read anybody's book, like I started reading the first couple pages of this book on Wicca by a dude named Scott Cunningham, and I remember every bit of it. Doesn't mean that I remember it word for word. I just know what it all means. Literally. Like, I know it to the T, like at the heart and soul core of the author. And what's weird is I actually understand it better. And I feel bad saying that. As a human being, I feel bad saying that about other people because it feels like I'm discrediting everybody. But they're doing exactly their job. They're doing exactly what they were destined to do. And if people don't believe in destiny, that's in their destiny. Isn't that crazy? No, it's not, but I know it sounds funny. If you are somebody who doesn't believe in God, that's part of your destiny. Doesn't mean that someday you won't, because you will. You will believe in who you are someday. I mean, duh. And like maybe it's going to be on your deathbed where you actually finally realize that you were alive and now you're going to die as this ego, and you should have understood what the hell you were doing here. Instead, you got sidetracked and told to do other stuff. And hopefully you still love those people and forgive them, because if you don't, then you come back and you make things worse. If you do forgive them and you want more and you want to understand it better, then you'll do that. If you do start to understand it more and you want to come back and make it even better and improve it, you'll do that. That's exactly how it works. But people are trying to put too many words to it, so it's like they make it so complicated that people just don't get it. the stories in the Bible that tell you got to sacrifice an animal because you looked at your neighbor's wife and thought a sexual thought are just freaking stupid. They're so bad for people's mentalities that it's never going to help anybody. I guess if you think that because people are liable to get jealous and angry and mad at each other for talking to someone that they like, then we should just settle down and get with one person and say, this is the only person I'm allowing myself to have, because if not, other people may get jealous and hurt and, get mad. But we can't live like that. If I love you and you love somebody else, why would I be in the right to go hurt that somebody else that you love? That doesn't make any sense. That'll be like getting into a family and someone being like, okay, you can love your parents, but now when I'm in there and I become part of your life and we start dating for a year or two, if your parents say something, they're like, you love your parents more than me. Be like, not more, differently and longer. So yeah, I have loved them and I know them better and they know me better. You may know sexual sides or personal sides better, but they grew me. They know me. Not always to that example, but you know what I'm saying. If you know somebody and then someone else comes along and expects you to stop liking or caring for them, it's just ridiculousness. It's a personal ego having problems, and every single one of us, out of the billions of us, does that. So it's hard when one person does understand people to the T, but they don't want to hear it. When I say T, I mean your essence, the TEA of you. I know you to the T. Like, I know exactly who people are. It doesn't mean that I want to try to prejudge them and I want to try to expect anything from them. No, I want people to be themselves and have the free will they have, but exercise it rightly and start learning how to be good people. It's not hard. It's actually quite simple, instead of trying to be so flashy and money hungry and materialistic. That's it. We remove those things and we're fine. Because once we remove those things, we won't overkill the earth. It'll start growing back. And we'll have more time to learn what to really do with our loving, caressing, caring time. Because if we love and caress and care for the world and each other, it's not going to be bad. How could it be? If we made sure that if we find something that needs taken care of, we take care of it, but we don't go overboard doing things that are unnecessary, how could that be bad? It won't be. The problem is people are just scared. And nature may still go through with the course of nature it needs to in order to refine our earth and make it a little bit better from what we've done to it. But that's just going to happen anyway. Because we've done worse. We've done way worse than we're doing this time. People think this is like the worst existence we've ever had or something. No, this is still the best of the catastrophic events. Because we're getting smarter. More of us are getting to a higher level of consciousness. Maybe we got to higher levels of technology before, but people weren't conscious enough to not destroy themselves. And they were doing it at such a rate, nature finished it for that course, for that legend, for that piece. Now we're on to another one. We're moving into another one, and the end of time is coming. It can be either that catastrophic end of time, or it could be that seemingly catastrophic end of time where everything that you're familiar with and comfortable with is going to have to change. That's just about the same thing. When your whole world becomes new, it's just like everything got blown up and started over. It's just like that. Really, it is. And I do know because I've experienced both many times. And I don't care if I can't prove it. I'm not looking to prove anything to anybody. I can show it and I can be honest, knowing that it's real. So if you find it as proof, great. If you see that it's the truth, great. But I know it is. So I don't have to care if you do or not. I care about you, but I don't care about your opinions. Your opinions are your right to have. Doesn't mean they're going to be correct. But it also doesn't mean that it's going to change how I feel about you. I care. I just act accordingly. If people are rude to me, I avoid them. If people are great to me, I'm great to them. Even if they're rude to me, I still care and love them. But I'm not going to force anything on them, so I'll still be great to them if I get the chance. Doesn't mean I'm going to be rude. Doesn't mean I'm going to return the favor. You get what you give. That's not how it is with me. I'm not a reactionary person anymore. I'm a responsible person who cares, loves, and does what's needed. And that's it. So that's all I'm going to say for now, guys. I love you. And until next time, peace.